evening. I'm delighted to be here this evening to introduce Michael Kors. Everyone knows that Michael is a man with a heart as big as his laugh and a smile for everyone. But maybe what everyone doesn't know, that Michael has always been that person. Michael and I have known each other for more years than he and I would care to remember. And when I first came to the city and was working at New York Magazine, I used to sit in a tiny little desk sandwiched between politics and culture. And Michael would hop on the subway and he would come up to see me on my tiny little perch with a smile and a laugh and a review of the latest Broadway show. And he was exactly the same person then as he is today. Of course, there's one thing that has changed since then. Michael is much more successful, which is a very good thing for Michael, of course, but also wonderful for all the many, many causes that he supports. Even in a city as generous and philanthropic as New York, Michael has managed to establish himself as one of the great givers of his generation. Starting over 2 decades ago with his unfailing devotion to 7th on Sale, to the $5 million he has given with his husband Lance to God's Love We Deliver, to his partnership this past spring with the United World Food Program to create Watch Hunger Stop campaign. I'm sure you all saw it in Times Square today. Michael's good works know no bounds. And how wonderful that there is now an honor to bestow on others in his name, the Michael Kors Award for Outstanding Community Service. And I cannot think of a more fitting person for whom to inaugurate this honor than Hillary Rodham Clinton. It was clear from the beginning that Secretary Clinton was not going to simply follow the traditional path of a First Lady. And sure enough, within months after the 1992 election, she was appointed to chair a task force that devised the Health Security Act, a universal health care plan that laid the groundwork for the noblest of fights, and one that continues to this very day. At the very same time, the fashion community, and Michael Kors in particular, were emerging as voices in the wilderness in the fight against HIV/AIDS, fundraising for home care, education, and treatment. And Michael stepped forward because there was never any question in his mind that it was the right thing to do. So you see why it's so appropriate that we are honoring Secretary Clinton tonight. As a woman who took on health care, the biggest dragon in American politics, she too refused to stay cautiously on the sidelines. Secretary Clinton, who spoke forcefully and publicly about the crisis as First Lady, has always understood that the focus for the fight against HIV/AIDS should be on the treatment, not just the cure. As senator, she fought for thousands of New Yorkers living with HIV, introducing the Early Treatment for HIV Act. And during her remarkable tenure as Secretary of State, she gave 3 blunt, powerful speeches that have become blueprints for how the US and other countries can use the latest scientific discoveries to create, at long last, an AIDS-free generation. And of course, as a wife and mother, Secretary Clinton knows that all global issues, especially a health crisis as profound as AIDS, must be viewed through the lens of family and cannot be solved without the empowerment of women and girls around the world. It is one of the many things that Hillary Clinton and Michael Kors share, a deep love of family, one's own and one's chosen. And Michael, You have a huge family here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Michael Kors.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and Anna, thank you so much. Thank God I didn't start singing. In my mind, I can. I know that I speak really on behalf of everyone here when I say that Hillary Clinton is an inspiration. She has provided a voice for people around the world who would otherwise never be heard. She is strong and feminine. She is confident and compassionate. She is a wife and a mother, and for so many people all around the world, a true symbol of hope. She is also probably the only person I know who travels more for work than I do. Hillary does it all. I've always said that the key to success is finding a balance between consistency and change. And you know what? I think Hillary figured that out early on. I mean, let's be honest. We have all seen her strong commitment to pantsuits over the years. But we've also seen her definitely have some fun with her hair. Actually, on a more serious note, and yes, I can be serious, Hillary has consistently sought answers to the world's questions. And what Hillary knows so well is that even when the questions remain the same, the answers must change. And Hillary is consistently committed to changing the world. Back in 1977, before she became the First Lady of Arkansas, one of her many firsts, by the way, Hillary founded the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families to protect and promote the rights and well-being of children in Arkansas. Over the past 30 years, Hillary's commitment to children and families, not only in Arkansas or just here in America, but around the world, has never faltered. As First Lady of Arkansas, Hillary secured federal funds to expand medical facilities, ensuring better care in some of the state's poorest areas. As First Lady of the United States, Hillary helped improve the orphanage system and encourage adoption and Safe Families Act. As Senator of New York, Hillary enhanced the education for children with special needs by working to increase the funding for individuals with disabilities in Education Act. And then, of course, there is her time as Secretary of State. In 2010, Hillary launched the 1,000 Days Partnership, a global program that improves the nutrition of pregnant mothers and in turn their children for 1,000 days. And for those of you who are not so swift at math like me at times, that is until the child turns 2. However, as with many things that Hillary does, the impact goes far beyond that. It saves lives, improves education, and ultimately boosts society as a whole. Because as Hillary knows, if you don't evolve with the world, then guess what? You can't continue to change it. She knows the questions are always there: food, safety, women's rights, children's rights, gay rights, veterans' rights, and she tirelessly works to find the answers. Which, by the way, is what I have always admired about God's love we deliver. The reason we are all here tonight. They saw a problem, they heard the question, and they answered it. And guess what? They're answering it every day brilliantly. And that's what Hillary does. She is one of the most important and powerful women in the world. She has created change and brought a whole new meaning to the phase and phrase, community service. Ultimately, she's given back to the community, but her community is the world. I have no doubt that the Bill and Hillary and Chelsea Clinton Foundation will continue to change the world around us. Because Hillary is a first, not just a first lady, she was the first student ever at Wellesley to give her class commencement address. She was, in fact, the first lady to refuse the traditional cookie bake-off. The first lady to have an office in the West Wing, the first lady to win a Grammy, the first lady to win an elective office, and the first Secretary of State to visit more than 100 countries. She's changed the rules of the world, in fact. She's changed the world. She's not just a first. She truly is one of a kind. It is my honor to present the first Michael Kors Award for Outstanding Community Service to Hillary Rodham Clinton.
What a great evening for such an amazing cause. I am honored and delighted to be here, and I want to thank Anna and Michael for those very kind and generous words, but for so much more. Anna has given in so many ways to so many important causes, and the public side is so well known, but she's also a great and loyal friend to many people, someone who really does care about what happens to you and your family, and it's no surprise that she would be here tonight in support of this organization. And of course, Michael is someone who I'm just amazed by, because his generosity and his enthusiasm are infectious. And what he's done with this organization and in so much of his philanthropy is a great tribute to him, but it's also a challenge to the rest of us to keep giving back, and not only giving back financially, but personally, as we heard earlier from Aaron about his actual delivery of meals. It's great being introduced by two of my fellow fashion icons. I'm also delighted to be anywhere with Bette Midler. I wanted her to stay up here and dance and sing a little bit more. And I want to congratulate the other honorees tonight, Aaron, of course, and Mike Moran and Jeff Gates. And everyone here this evening for volunteering and supporting God's Love We Deliver. I feel a little bit sheepish being the first recipient of the Michael Kors Award for Outstanding Community Service, because so many of you do that every single day in so many different ways. I want to just pick up on a point that Bette made at the very beginning. This program, what it represents, the connections that it forges, the compassion, the kindness, and the efficiency and the results that it stands for are so much a part of the American character. And despite the headlines and the despair that some feel watching the news. My advice is don't watch. Although the Senate did pass a deal tonight, and hopefully we'll get this behind us shortly. But in the rush of all of the day-to-day, back and forth, political posturing and partisan arguing, it is sometimes too easy to forget that we are a really unique people. You know, earlier tonight I was at a dinner for an organization that represents the survivors and family members, the first responders from 9/11, called Voices of September 11th. And it was a recognition of how important it is to, keep giving back and learning from whatever life throws at you. And this organization really represents what de Tocqueville called the habits of the heart that truly set apart Americans from everyone else as early as the 1820s. That sense of volunteerism, that idea that communities can come together and solve problems and take care of people, the support that we give to one another, the underlying values that we share. So it's a good contrast after the preceding days of gridlock and argumentation to come here tonight and think about what this evening and this organization mean. Because it means more than the 4,600 plus meals. That itself would be enough. It's really demonstrating those habits of the heart that have set New Yorkers and Americans apart. And it's truly in our DNA. It is what we believe, it is who we are. So for those of you who have built this organization, who deliver that love every single day, thank you. And please know that in this time of economic uncertainty with sequestered budgets and government shutdowns, your services are needed more than ever. 90% of the people served by God's Love We Deliver live at or below the poverty line. 75% depend on Medicaid. Today in our country, more than 16 million American children live in poverty, the highest percentage since the early 1990s, and 22 million children are on food stamps. All this in the richest, most generous country in the world. So we have a lot of work to do. Tonight is a celebration, a way of saying thank you and having all of you recognize each other for what you do every single day. And then tomorrow, we will get up again and try to figure out how to fit into our busy lives what really matters in life. And that is how we connect with, support, help, and love our fellow human beings. I thank you, but I also ask you, do not give up, do not despair. Make sure you're part of the answers to the problems, and make sure we continue to see that God's love is delivered as far from the chaos and the disappointment of the day to make a difference in the lives of so many. Thank you, and Godspeed.